In this video, we'll look into how the main markets are moving. We'll look across the stock market, we'll look across the crypto market, and we'll see the major drivers of both. Stay tuned, it's going to be a fun one. Let's run the numbers. Yesterday, we talked about Glassnode just altering the cycle to reflect this. We're following last cycle in terms of price action, and Glassnode is anticipating some sort of action like this. We've seen that in the last session, we had follow-through, negative follow-through. This is an unbelievable bargain, and it's a bargain that may get even more attractive, so just be aware. Even with the negative price momentum inside the crypto industry, Bitcoin is the 9th largest asset class on the planet. Gold is number one, and Bitcoin is coming for gold. Not surprisingly, there was negative price performance across the stock market. All sectors were down 0.71%. Energy did the best. Healthcare, consumer discretionary, and real estate did the worst. The stock market yesterday had a previous close of greed of 72. They were quite greedy, but now they've been a bit knocked around by that negative price action. They're down to 63. If we zoom out and look at this on a longer term basis, we can see that the fear and greed index is starting to come down. When the greed index, fear and greed, comes down, that's a sign the markets are retracing. People are fearful when the prices go red. That's when you pick up bargains. Just think about it like going to your favorite store and finding the thing that you love the most. Unfortunately, something inside financial markets turns people a bit bananas. Instead of looking at a sale as a sale, they look at a sale and say, I'm out of here. I'm just running out because, I can't stand it. The price is going down. If you actually prepare for this negative price momentum, just knowing the price is always moving in a wave, it's always going up and down and up and down. This is just the way of financial markets. If you prepare for that, you can buy this dip on the way down. Please let me know in the comments, did you prepare in advance? And just remember, dips can keep on dipping, so it's not necessarily that we'll go up from here. That's a possibility, and we need to look at the charts. But sometimes what we see is that when we cut under, things start to get a little bit more negative, and you can get follow through. But there are so many bargains and so many opportunities in this environment. Bitcoin and crypto cannot escape the stock market's gravity, and we can see this. The semiconductors were down. Energy did really quite well, but the rest of the market was basically red. Tesla got hit and hit fairly hard. People inside the crypto market are a very optimistic bunch. Right now, we've got extreme greed the same as in the past 24 hours. At least the next update will be out in 3 hours when we find that the extreme greed may have dropped down somewhat, perhaps to greed, just like the stock market. If you're liking the video so far, please smash that like button, and just remember, you can check out what I'm involved in the links in the video. I'm only involved in these things. Please be aware that I will never reach out to you and ask you for money. And I will never ever invest on your behalf, so please be aware of these things. Masterclass students, I cover this chart in TM6. One of the things that you've got to be aware of when the VIX spikes up, that's the fear gauge of the main markets. What you'll find is Bitcoin comes down often. It's not a 100% guaranteed function, but on average it will occur. As the VIX retraces, expect Bitcoin to go up. But if the VIX jumps up, expect Bitcoin to plummet down. Just be aware of these factors. A lot of people aren't aware. They just look at the crypto market as being some kind of weird animal. It's just completely alone in the financial wilderness. Crypto is a pack animal. It really loves to hang out with the stock market. It loves to hang out with the bond market. It loves to hang out with commodities and also Forex. So just be aware of this. And we can see as the major market indices come down, look at what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin is that blue line behind the NASDAQ. It's following. This is very, very common. And we can see oil is on a bit of a rampage. When oil is rampaging upwards, that means inflationary pressure. What does that mean? That's not good because it means the yields are likely to come up, bond prices are likely to come down, and the US dollar is likely to come up. That typically places negative price momentum on the stock market and crypto. But it's really not that simple. There's so much more to it. The economic system is very, very complex. Keep your eyes on the yields. As you can see recently, the yields have been going gangbusters. And what happened to crypto during that period of time? You can see it. It's just so evident. And that's why I teach this inside the masterclass. You really must know more than just crypto to trade and invest crypto. It also appears that there's a little bit of geopolitical tension mounting because even though we can see that yields are increasing, we also see gold increasing. That's something to just be aware of. Some good news that we see, the US dollar or DXY, US dollar currency index, has made its way down and is starting to base. This could mean that we get some reprieve from the negative price momentum inside the crypto market. But buying crypto, especially Bitcoin at the current time, is absolutely a gift. Please make sure you don't run away. In terms of total Fed liquidity, we've seen liquidity drained out of the system. When this typically happens, it's not too good for any market, including the stock market. We've seen a bit of an injection of liquidity, but not much of a follow-through. When people first start in financial markets, they can see price momentum as being like this completely random animal. It's just romping all over the place. Where is it going? Well, it's going between CTKS structural levels. So let's pop on the indicator, and inside the service, in the past 24 hours, the S&P 500 was released. This marks up in excess of 55,800 days. Let's pop on the indicator so that we can see where the safety nets and ceilings are and how strong each are as well. Knowing where the safety nets and ceilings are is vitally important, as is knowing how strong they are. We can see that inside the S&P 500, and please make note, this started in 1871, so there's literally over 55,000 days worth of data that's been crunched to create these structural levels. And we can see slightly above that 5254 mark was a very considerable, very solid brick wall of structural resistance. Previously, we tried to bypass it, but we found that we just came down to structural levels. Notice how structure is very responsible as a safety net for price action. If we can't get above, we're going below. And that's really as simple as it gets. You just need to know where the levels are to understand where price can go. What have we seen in the past trading session? We've seen that we just couldn't get past this 52.54 mark. We tried to consolidate around that 52.30 mark, but it just didn't happen. With the VIX spiking up, we didn't get caught by the first safety net, but we got caught by the 51.81 safety net and rebounded. Currently, we're seeking inside the market to turn this 52.02 level into support. If we're lucky enough to do that, and don't forget there's a lot of negative momentum inside the market, the next level to look at is this one just above 52.30. If we get above that, we'll try to head back into this 52.54 area. But just be aware, there's a lot of structural resistance here, and we've had zero chance of getting through it in the past. But always prepare yourself for the positive price action, the neutral price action, and the negative price action. Please let me know in the comments, how do you go about doing that? How do you go about preparing yourself for the fact that if you can't get above a CTKS structural level, we're going below? How do you take advantage of that? How do you position yourself? How do you read the structure from inside the market? And members of the service, this specific indicator has been released. It's a beautiful thing that inside financial markets, because they're so incredibly complex, you can use those complexities to your advantage. Look at the Aussie dollar, it's staging a bit of a rebound. The Kiwi is also staging a bit of a rebound. And the cable, the Great British Pound versus the dollar, is also starting to consolidate and move in an upwards position. We can see that yuan is coming down. The loonie, the US dollar to Canadian dollar, is starting to flatline and starting to go slightly negative with the gopher. And also the Dixie is retracing. What does all this mean? It means there's potential positive pressure inside the major global indices and also the crypto market. Just get to read these particular charts and you'll find that the financial markets will not become so complex anymore. They will become far more simplistic. Always remember, financial markets are incredibly complex. They're complex because so much is on the line and they're so incredibly big. Don't seek simple solutions for complex things. You'll fail. Instead, just immerse yourself in the complexity and you will win. A lot of people think that the crypto alts are very independent of Bitcoin's price momentum. You can see that blue line there. That is Bitcoin, and see how it's playing over Ethereum. What about Bitcoin to Binance Coin? Well, it pretty much looks the same. What about Solana? Heck, looks the same. XRP, ADA, Cardano, AVAX, Doge. They're all the same. You must be aware of the complexity inside the crypto market. It's not that different projects can go independent of Bitcoin's gravity for long. They can't. So you can see Bitcoin is dependent on the stock market and the alts are dependent on Bitcoin. This is just the way it is. A lot of people inside the crypto market think that their alts can escape Bitcoin's gravity. You can see they cannot. And this is on a 1 hour basis. Even if you never buy Bitcoin, you must know where the structural levels on Bitcoin are, because if you don't know how your alts are going to relate to Bitcoin's price movement. When Bitcoin came down, and as you've seen, this price behavior has played across gravitationally all of the alts. So we need and must understand where the structural levels on Bitcoin are. Bitcoin started in 2009, which is 5,200 days worth. So the indicator captures all that plus much more. Let's pop it on and see where the structure is playing out. When the markets go red, it's very important to know where your structural levels are because they act as safety nets. They don't act as brick walls. They're not going to hit it and then just bounce back. They will likely, especially if there's a negative fresh air gap, they're likely to come down and overextend. Now, these particular levels are gravitational, which means the price will be drawn back into them. If it can't get above, where's it going? You got it. It's going to the one below. And if it goes below that one, it's going to the one below that. But so far, this particular level just below 65,250 has held rather well. We're potentially going to make our way back to this 66,850 mark. If the DXY and the yields continue to break down, we would expect a rally inside the crypto market. And we can also see the crypto market, just like the stock market, has reached a level of resistance. This resistance above the 69,750 mark wasn't capable of getting past, and we can see it flatlined and then formed a bit of a negative fresh air gap here and then just broke down. If you'd like to cover the reasons for this breakdown, just go to yesterday's video. It's packed full of goodies. The bulls will seek to reclaim this 66,950 mark and consolidate it and then move upwards. The bears will seek to push Bitcoin's price below this level, just under 65,350, and push it down to 63,170. So just keep your eyes on these structural levels. Remember, this is the most statistically significant structure that you will ever find on any chart, and it's created through level 1 and level 2 standard certification, and you can learn it yourself. Or you can simply just grab the indicator from ctksmethod.org and just pop it on your chart. Whatever you do, it's vital to understand the structural levels, especially inside Bitcoin. As you've seen, they control all the crypto alts. If you expect your crypto alt project to go up while Bitcoin is tanking, well, that's a possibility. There are some inverters, but the inversion won't last for long. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. So knowing Bitcoin's structural levels is vitally important, and you can see they're not all created equal. They're of different weights. The lighter ones mean lighter structure, and the heavier ones mean heavier structure. When you get an accumulation of CTKS structural levels together, this creates either a stronger support area or, unfortunately, in this case, a stronger structural resistance area. But just be aware, overall, the market for Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, is just going to go parabolic over time. There is no upper ceiling on Bitcoin's price, as there is no limit to the amount of fiat printing. Treat this as an absolute gift. I've been leaning in rather heavily, and it's very important that you do the same if that's your structure, if that is what appeals to you. Many new investors and traders will only hear a ticker, for example Bitcoin, and they will decide based on just this data if they get in or not. You must always look at structure. Structure is really, really important. We saw that inside Bitcoin structure is it's underneath a very strong structural level. It's rebounded from a weaker structural support level, but it's still underneath that very heavy structure. We could get follow through, so just be aware that we could get follow through to the negative side. Are you prepared if this happens? Over the past 24 hours, we've seen a lot of negative price momentum inside the crypto market. Doge has come down nearly 10%. But if you look through the EC method, you should be seeing something rather interesting. And Solana is already doing it, followed by XRP, which is quite interesting. Doge is looking like it's starting to turn around. So even on a low time frame basis, you can make a good deal of money from negative price momentum like this. Just please be aware of this. Volatility is how we make a return. The greatest gainers in the past 24 hours, top 100. We can see Litecoin leading the pack. It is indeed light, followed by the BGs with Flare on Mantle and Pendle with ICP, UDC and USDT. Oh, what is this? We've got stable coins entering the top list of gainers. What does this mean? It means that there was a really big sell-off. Turning towards the greatest losers in the past 24 hours, top 100. Kava, Aptos, Bonk, Floki. You can see the memes have been hit because they were doing so well. It's very natural for retracements. Followed by a bit of Gala and a bit of Graph, bit of Sats, and lastly Doge. There's been nearly $500 million worth of liquidations inside the crypto market, with the vast majority being long liquidations. But the shorts also got their fair share as well. This is something to understand incredibly well. Even if the downside momentum is there, that doesn't mean the shorts aren't going to get whacked as well. 133,200 positions were wiped out. The Bitcoin halving is just a mere 17 days away, and look at that little cute coin gecko there. One thing, when it comes to your three-dimensional risk management, you must prepare for a down case, a neutral case, and an up case simultaneously, all at the same time. This is not so easy to do because we're trained to be like light switches. We're either on or we're off. We're either in or we're out. Unfortunately, that kind of thinking inside financial markets you'll suffer the death of 1,000 cuts, because you'll get in when the stock market or crypto or commodities are going up, and then you'll sell when they're coming down. You can imagine if you buy here and price retraces and you sell there, you've just made a loss. And if you get in again and buy around here, but it just tanks back and you sell around there, you're getting the death of 1,000 cuts. The only way to avoid this natural price behavior, and it is natural, is to prepare your three-dimensional thinking in advance. Know what you will do if the price goes down, goes flat, or goes up. Always remember that you control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. And that return is always based on your knowledge and your courage. And the market absolutely penalizes. It will blow your accounts up if you're gambling or you use blame. Blame is just simply, oh, it's not my fault for pressing the buy and sell. It's somebody else's. That's just fantasy. Life doesn't work that way. You must be accountable for your own actions. But you may want to say, Ken, I don't want to be accountable for my own actions. It's not my fault. The key is always focus on your learning. If it's your fault, you can do something about it. If it's somebody else's fault, you have to go and change them. That's not going to happen. It's hard enough changing yourself, let alone changing someone else. And just be aware, inside financial markets, the price is always going down, going up and then down and up and consolidating and going up and down. This is just the way of price. If you're looking at it as a simplistic thing, it's either got to go all the way up and never come down, or it's going all the way down and never coming up. Well, that's just fantasy as well. You have to know the laws of financial markets. Rule number 4, price moves in waves, is a particularly good one. When everything is going right, we really don't pay too much attention to these things. That's why when things go badly, we focus on our learning. We don't beat ourselves up. We just say with humility, okay, there's something here that I can learn. You can be grateful and happy the fact that you're learning things, because that can set you up for an incredible life. Being kind to yourself is really important. Don't run from the market. Have courage, persistence, and commitment. Stay with it. You're here because you've got a calling to be here. It's very important to maintain your inner peace and outer peace, and that's just simply a mindset shift. Just always be aware that if you do not have inner peace and outer peace, you're going to be buffeted around by the waves of life. You want to create calm in your life. That will create a lot of strength, and that means that you can just apply your learning all the time to everything. Also, when it comes to positive excellence, money and success are just byproducts of doing the right thing. If you're looking towards money as the savior to all your problems, it is not. The person that you become is the solution to all your issues. To keep positive, we have something called the CTKS Creed. These are daily positive affirmations. What the heck is a positive affirmation, and why is it daily? Because the markets are so turbulent, we need to say affirmations that are positive. An affirmation is simply the I statement. The I is you, if you know what I mean. This I is you. And you always have to think of the case that you want. I know the universe wants me to succeed. The universe does want you to succeed. And if it wants you to succeed, you're not in competition. The universe is completely abundant. That means every day you can show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. Opportunities in life reset daily. You are worthy. Just go slow to go fast. Start small and scale. Don't go all in and more with leverage and have no idea what you're doing. If you do that, somebody else will take your money. You don't want that. And just understand that any negative action that occurs in life, for example, a life pullback, that will give you strength for the next life rally. That strength is what you want. Don't be concerned of any life pullback. It's redirecting you onto a better path. Be always dedicated and committed. Understand that you either win or learn, and never blame. If you blame, you're just disempowering yourself. You're making somebody else the target, and your learning will suffer. If your learning suffers, by definition, you don't know things. You either know things or you blame angrily other people. That's why we say we either win or learn, because we're a community of empowerment. And it's important to always solve your problems with positive excellence. Just remember that all results come from the mind. The results that you are getting right now, that's all results come from your thinking. If you create a better mind, you will create better outcomes. And how do you do that? You just get better habits to create a better life. It doesn't matter what the markets are doing. They could be going up, they could be going down. It matters who you are and what you think. And what you think is the thing that will make you or break you in this world. I want you to have absolutely glorious success. If you have glorious success, it will be because you are learning. You're learning to suffer the pullbacks in life to gain your strength for the next life rally. Be strong, my friends. This is what it's all about in life. Please let me know in the comments, did you learn anything new in this particular video? Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.